Come on, siesta time's over. We gotta move on. We're supposed to be loaded by now. Look,
Right, keep 'em at it, Mr. Edwards. Quick as you can.
Captain Beans?
Yeah?
Nearly finished, Captain?
Finished? I'd have been loaded and away yesterday if you'd laid on some decent labor for me, Captain Baldwin.
Not very easy to find out here in the back of beyond.
Well, Captain Onedin should have thought of that before he built this place.
It is called Port Baines. I somehow got the idea it was at your suggestion.
Yeah. Well, I'm sailing on the tide, Mr. Baldwin.
Well, you will see Captain Eden before you leave.
Yes, if he cares to come down from that big house up there.
Look, lively down there.
Could I come aboard, Captain?
You are aboard, Captain Baldwin.
Told me he was looking forward to cracking a bottle with you.
Oh, did he now? Well, now, you listen to me. 5 days I've been here, and I haven't seen hide nor hair of him.
He's been working on the last stage of the port. You know what it's like when he's busy.
Only too well, Captain Baldwin. And that's why I work for the Fraser Line.
Captain Baines.
Yes?
That's a lot, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Now batten down the hatches and pay off the man.
I'll tell him you'll see him, shall I?
No, you shall not. He knows where to find me, and I sail on the tide. Now, you go up, and you tell him that. We sail on the tide, Mr. Edwards.
Aye, sir. Oh, sure then.
Go and see if they've lowered that boat yet, will you?
Si, senor.
Yeah.
No, no boat, senor.
Silly old fool. We'll be sailing in less than an hour. Suppose that means I've got to go to him. Oh, go and get the boat ready.
Si, senor.
Pleasant room.
What the devil?
Immediate hospitality. I appreciate the gesture, Captain Onedin.
Now then, who the devil are you? What are you doing here? What do you want?
Oh, forgive me, how remiss. Colonel Ignacio Fernandez Vega.
Well, Colonel, I don't really appreciate people bursting into my house. I'm a busy man, so if you'd like to state your business and then go...
Oh, I will not be going, Captain. You are the one that is going. You have 24 hours to leave the country.
Oh, now listen, what is this?
Please. My soldiers, they love me dearly. You obviously have not heard, but like you in England, we too have had a change of government.
Oh, yes, I have heard. But the politics of your country are none of my concern.
Providing they do not interfere with your business ventures, yes? My lieutenant is informing your crews.
Yeah, well, keep on looking, Colonel. They'll probably throw him over the side.
I do not think so. The gun is universally respected. Almost as much as money. A supuestas.
So, you respect money, do you, Colonel?
Oh, but of course, very much. Does not everyone?
I see. I see. You realize, of course, that I have invested a lot of money in Port Baines.
I'm very well aware of that.
Now, tell me, Colonel, if my interests are to be protected, would you be willing to talk about, well, now tell me, how would you put it? Insurance.
No, my friend. I would call it bribery. And you have just insulted me. For years, you foreigners have robbed my country. You have bought estates of timber, cotton, coffee, and made fortunes while the people starved. And let me tell you, your day is finished.
Well, now, let me tell you. I have worked 5 hard years building up this port, and what is more, I have a legal agreement with your government.
Correction! With the previous government. Port Baines is now under my control. It is confiscated.
Just a minute.
There is nothing more to say!
You don't just walk away.
You will regret regret that, my friend.
I was frightened and I ran down to the boat.
Captain Onedin was still in the room with the soldiers.
Si, senor.
How many more of them were there?
I do not know, senor.
But only 2 of them guarding him.
Si, senor.
Those steps up the cliff. Do they know about them?
I do not think so. Not yet.
Good, I'll go that way.
You? But what about your ship?
I'll tell Mr. Edwards to take her home. He's a good first mate.
Captain Baines, there's no need for you to get involved in this.
No need.
You might be endangering your ship by handing over command.
Now, I'll be the best judge of that, if you please.
What I'm trying to say is that if anybody is going to rescue Captain Onedin, it's going to be me.
Oh, now,
I
listen.
am master of the Charlotte Roads. This is not your concern.
Damn your impudence, Captain. Of course it's my concern.
But you vowed you'd never work for him again. You've hardly spoken to him in 5 years.
What the devil's that got to do with it?
Right, lads, I know how you feel, but we'll follow them soon. When it's properly dark, I want the jolly boat lowered.
Captain Baldwin, don't you think it'd be a good idea?
Just to make it look like we're leaving, you can start raising the canvas. But take your time.
I must congratulate you on your cellar. It's an excellent wine. It's a pity you won't be able to enjoy it anymore.
I hope it poisons you.
You really are a foolish man, Captain. You have lost your chance to return to England. Now you will stand trial.
With you as judge?
Quite possibly.
Tell me, Colonel, what happens now to my port?
I will appoint someone to take control.
Close relative, no doubt.
Don't try my patience too much, Captain.
You stay here. Come on.
Of course, Colonel, you realize that after this, no British ship will ever put into this port again.
Oh, I quite agree, Captain. At first, your government will be extremely annoyed, even sending a letter of protest to our president. But they will do nothing. Your Mr. Gladstone has too many troubles elsewhere. The Boers, Egypt. One of the advantages of an English public school education is that one understands how the English think. In a few years, all will be forgotten. And this bay will be full of British.
Now, tell me, Colonel, did they teach you to thieve while in England as well with you?
Don't worry. In 5 or 6 years, we will release you as a gesture of the country. Yes, we have much to look forward to. You have nothing. I have only to raise my voice.
And then you're dead.
Get his gun, sir. Take that.
You stick your nose out over this balcony, and I'll take great pleasure in blowing it off. Levántate! Levántate! ¡Guardias! ¡Ven aquí! Ya lo veo. Están allá. ¡Matarlos! ¡A todos!
Turn the anchor halfway up by now, sir.
Well, that can drop it again.
What?
I'm not giving up this easy.
Dame esta escopeta.
The simple fact of the matter is that financially you have overreached yourself, Mrs. Fraser.
Thank you. I can assure you it is purely temporary, Mr. Harris. I have it on very good authority that now Mr. Gladstone is Prime Minister,
Trade will improve. Yes, so your brother never ceases to tell me. Oh, please don't misunderstand me. I'm a firm supporter of Mr. Gladstone, always have been. But I do not look upon him as a miracle worker. And neither do my fellow directors. Now, in the last year, we have received no repayment of the loan whatsoever.
True, but interest has been met every quarter. I mean, had the loan been repaid, you would have received no interest at all.
That's not quite the point, Mrs. Fraser.
Then let us come to the point. I need £3,000 to complete that ship in my yard. There is £5,000 profit in it. Uncompleted, there is nothing.
In normal circumstances, I wouldn't hesitate, Mrs. Fraser. But times are hard for the bank as well. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's a good round sum.
What time is it?
£3,000.
What?
Yes, I shall ask for £3,000. It's 11 o'clock.
Well, you're due at the bank at 1:30.
Now, don't fuss, Sarah. On the other hand, I think I'll suggest 4,000 to Mr. Harris and let him whittle me down to 3. For heaven's sake, woman, what's the matter now?
Well, I'm sorry, Robert, but I too have an appointment. The League of Purity have...
Yes, madam.
Ah, Mr. Dunwoody. You did say, didn't you, you didn't know how long Mrs. Fraser would be away?
That is correct.
There you are, you see. She could be gone for ages. You don't happen to know where she's gone, I suppose?
Oh, yes, madam.
You didn't think to mention it?
You didn't ask. She's gone to see Mr. Harris at the bank.
What?
That'll be all, Dunwoody.
The conniving little minx. She knew perfectly well I was going to see Mr. Harris. So she invites us here so that she can get to him first.
You should never have told her.
Well, it's pointless me going to see him now. The cupboard will be bare.
If it's any consolation, Robert, it was bare for me as well.
And what consolation is there in that, may I ask? Elizabeth, what you've done is unforgivable.
If he wasn't going to lend to me with all the security I can offer, he was hardly likely to lend to you.
Security? You're up to your eyes in debt and everyone knows it.
So are you.
Yes, but not to the same extent. My collateral is in bricks and mortar. The figures that I were going to propose to Mr. Harris might have swayed him, but now, after saying no to you, he's in no mood to say yes to me.
If there's two things I can't abide, it's pompous bankers who lecture me and pompous brothers who do the same.
Well, I like them.
Oh, good morning, Sarah.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I was beginning to think I didn't exist. I'll be off to my committee now, Robert.
Yes.
Will you be home to lunch?
No, I'll have a bite at the club.
As usual.
High time you began to reassert yourself, brother dear.
I can handle Sarah very well, thank you very much. Now, Elizabeth.
A letter from James, the Prince Edward got this morning.
What's he got to say?
Well, read it.
Oh, he says all will be completed within 4 months. When's it post dated? 2 months ago. Huh. Oh, and listen to this. The warehouses are filling up appreciably with coffee.
Yes, I've read the letter, Robert. The point is, do we use the information we have now or wait?
Hmm?
Well, once the news is made public that Port Baines is about to open, and more important, thrive, our shares will increase in value.
Yeah. That's very good collateral for a loan.
Precisely.
Yes, I shall take this letter to Harris right now.
No, you won't.
Elizabeth, I need that money now. The store is almost completed, but I've used up every penny. I need money to buy stock.
Look, James and I agreed that Onedin Line and Fraser Line would share the Port Baines trade. Once you tell Harris, half the ship owners in Liverpool will have their ships sailing out to South America in days.
What's that got to do with me? I'm concerned with my store.
I think we should wait, Robert. If other ship owners were to get out there first, it could affect your Onedin Line shares as well.
Well, as to that, I'm going to tell Mr. Harris about that letter. And when James returns from South America, he can buy my Onedin shares. And I will then have the money to pay off my debt to the bank, which will make me the owner of one of the largest emporiums in the north of England, lock, stock, and barrel. I shall owe nothing to no man.
Robert, if Mr. Harris should ask for a sight of that letter, I shall deny all knowledge of it. I shall call you a liar.
You wouldn't, Elizabeth.
Oh, yes, I would. We're going to keep this news to ourselves. It's for our own good.
Dios. Señor Bayan. Señor Bayan, come quick. Rápido, rápido.
What happened, Izzy? Thank the good Lord for that. By thunder, you had me worried. Here, boy, go to the galley and get a bowl of hot gruel.
Muy bien, señor.
You're moving. There we are, with a good wind.
I gave orders to stay.
Aye, you did.
I'll kindly tell Captain Baldwin to put back.
No, we will not. We're 7 days out. Hey, you've been out cold for 3 days. Then you got the fever. We all thought you was gone.
I'm here now. So kindly put back.
No. Now you listen to me. If we'd have stayed there, we'd have got ourselves blown out of the water. There were soldiers all over the place, and they had cannon. It was just not practical. So you just drink your gruel.
Señor. Por favor.
Oh, God.
Captain Eden's come round.
Aye, the boy told me.
Yeah, the old Charlotte Road says a nasty habit of falling away if you don't watch it, Captain Baldwin.
Go northeast was the coast we set, Captain Baines.
Aye.
Or northeast it is. The wind's freshening. I think I'll take in a reef.
We need to blow much harder before I thought of shortening.
Aye, well, I reckon it's better to shorten when you can, not when you're forced to. Hands to taking a reef.
Aye, sir.
Hands to taking a reef.
What's your call, sir? I do believe you're letting her fall away again.
No, señor. You must rest.
Oh, I've rested for the last 7 days. Come on, in there. In there. Good lad. Oh, wait, it's a baby. Victuals. Food. Now, that's what I need, food. Go and get me some proper food, eh?
Si, senor. Only if you will rest.
Oh, I can't do much else now, can I? Go on off with you. Oh.
Clapton and Sons.
Brass fittings, £87, 15 and 9 pence.
Pay them?
Belcher Brothers?
No. Next. £473? Ridiculous.
Well, I can assure you, madam, it is correct.
Oh. Well, pay them £50 and ask them if we can have a more detailed account.
Very well, Mrs. Fraser.
Ah, Robert. That'll be all, thank you, Mr. Dunwoody. Take these, please, and put them out of sight. And when he arrives, show him straight in.
Yes, Mrs. Fraser.
Mr. Dunwoody.
Sir Robert.
Really, Elizabeth, I do object to being cursorily summoned to your office and by a junior clerk.
Mr. Dunwoody was busy, Robert.
Yes, quite sure of that. When who arrives?
Take your coat off and try and calm down.
I am calm. It just happened that I was in the middle of important consultations with the builder.
Oh, very well. If that's more important than raising money to actually pay the builder, I'll not detain you.
You've been to see Mr. Harris again, haven't you?
No, but a messenger delivered a note not half an hour ago. He's acquired himself a new client, apparently as rich as Croesus, and moreover, anxious to invest his wealth.
Splendid. Splendid!
His name is Mr. Thomas Macaulay, but apart from that, I know nothing of him.
Well, I mean, if providing he's willing to invest, it could be a Hottentot for all I care.
Mr. Thomas Macaulay, madam.
Mr. Macaulay, delighted to meet you.
My word, Mrs. Fraser. I shall have to buy Mr. Harris a lexicon. He didn't do you justice by half, ma'am.
Well, thank you. You'll take a glass of Madeira?
I'd like that.
Oh, my brother, Mr. Onedin.
Mr. Macaulay.
Robert Onedin.
Yes.
Do you know, sir, I was in London 2 days ago, and Miss Gladstone made me promise to seek out Robert Onedin and pass on her kind regards.
Miss Gladstone. Oh, a charming person. Quite charming. Of course, it's some time since I served under Mr. Gladstone.
Mr. Macaulay?
Oh, thank you.
Help yourself, will you, Robert?
Yes, of course.
What brings you to Liverpool, Mr. Macaulay?
Shipping, Mrs. Fraser.
Do sit down.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I've many interests in the Southern Hemisphere, Mrs. Fraser, particularly Australia. Well, I've just come from South Africa. I took the time to travel around the Cape Colony and the Transvaal. There's trouble brewing out there.
I understood the Colonial Office had settled our differences with the Zulus.
No, not the Zulus, the Boers. Soon there'll be a war. A war cannot be conducted without supplies. The Dutch, the Germans, and the British will be crying out for shipping.
A war? Oh, you can't be serious.
I am, and I mean to have my foot in that door.
Why do you come to me?
Time, ma'am. I could create a fleet of my own, given the time. Whereas you have an established shipping line and a yard equipped to build steamships.
And?
And I have the capital. A commodity in short supply.
I'm afraid Fraser's is not a public company, Mr. Macaulay. I'm not allowed to sell family shares.
No, I am aware of that.
Yes, I thought perhaps you might be. I'm sure you have a suggestion.
Of course. A loan, secured by the assets of the company.
You mean a debenture?
Precisely.
How much?
100,000.
Interest?
5.5%.
No. 4.5, payable annually.
5, half yearly.
No interference?
A watching brief. I'll offer my advice when needed.
And I'll take it. When needed.
The papers and my draft can be ready in 24 hours.
On my word, I've never witnessed a transaction of such magnitude concluded with such speed.
Well, perhaps we might better that time, sir, with your Onedin line shares.
Ah.
I presume you wish to dispose of them?
Well, unfortunately, I cannot do that without my brother's consent, and he's in South America.
I see. Well, we'll talk again on his return.
However, Mr. Macaulay, I am the sole owner of a very large retail store. The building is almost completed, and it did occur to me that
No, I'm afraid that shopkeeping is not for me, Mr. Onedin.
I'd hardly call it that, sir.
I would. Ma'am, I'll bid you good day. It's all right, I can see myself out.
There you are, sir. Good to see you on your feet again.
Thank you, Captain Baldwin. Thank you. Hey? That Fraser ship of yours. Can we overtake her?
Well, she has to put into Cape Verde for coal, but even so, I doubt we'll catch her now.
Well, if she gets back before us, so does the bad news. Captain Baldwin!
Captain Onedin.
Right. I want you to call out both watches. Crowd on every stitch of canvas you can lay your hands on.
But, sir.
Oh, come on now, off with you.
Aye, aye, sir.
Now then, Albert, of course we're on.
Go away, sir.
Right, then off with you two. I'll take the wheel.
Aye, aye, sir.
Miss Gaunt, ma'am.
Oh, Letty, come in, come in. Dunwoody, have somebody make us some tea, will you?
Yes, Mrs. Fraser.
Is Charlotte not with you?
Well, she was. But we met your son, William, and he immediately took her off to show around the yard. I hope that was in order.
Of course. Now then, I received this from my London agent this morning. Well, you can see that he highly recommends Miss Harbold's Academy for Young Ladies.
Oh, yes. It seems an awful lot of money.
Well, James can well afford it. If Charlotte does go away to school, Letty, what will happen to you?
Well, I expect I shall find another position. Naturally, I shall miss Charlotte.
Only Charlotte?
Well, the whole family.
I didn't mean the whole family, Letty.
No, I know you didn't.
Well, has he never broached the subject?
No. Well...
Yes?
When he was leaving, on this last voyage, just before I went ashore, he went very red in the face and he muttered something about settling down and, you know, sometimes I could shake him.
Nothing in his letters?
Letters? 7 in 2 years. And all of them about South America.
The bank has invested heavily in this South American venture of Onedin's. As indeed I have myself. And from what his brother has intimated, it's going to be extremely profitable, I'm relieved to say.
And why does Robert Onedin wish to sell his shares?
Oh, he needs money for his new retail store.
How many shares does he own in the Onedin line?
A very reasonable percentage.
And James Onedin?
Ah, well, he no longer has only one company. His interests are spread among many. But all the profits are fed back to the Onedin line. I feel your forebears would have described him as canny, Mr. Macaulay.
My forebears wouldn't have been nearly so polite. You see, they were New South Wales convicts.
Oh.
There are other builders in Liverpool, you know, and stay away. Very nice. Yes. Well, come on, get on with it, get on with it.
Afternoon, Mr. Onedin.
Oh. Good afternoon, Mr. Macaulay.
Trouble?
Just a minor difference, that's all. It's the workmen. You can't trust them today.
I'm told they've even started asking for money.
Good afternoon, Mr. Macaulay.
Mr. Onedin. Now that I've seen your store, I must admit it's made me change my mind. It's almost as good as those I've seen in America.
Oh, really?
Department stores, they call them over there.
Yes, so I've heard. I mean to develop this along the same line.
I like your style, Mr. Onedin. What's more, I think I've hit upon a method whereby I could help you.
Perhaps you care to step inside?
Indeed, I would.
That's no good. Yes, give us a go. Aye. Thanks. Come on, put your back into it. You got it. I got a couple of turns in it.
She's drawing better, sir.
I thought she would. I've been as hard as this for years. I've become a businessman, you know. Did me a power of good this voyage. Just like the old days.
Aye.
Had good times, you and me, eh?
Aye.
We could again, you know.
Maybe.
Robert, the Charlotte Rose is just docking. My office in quarter of an hour.
But Elizabeth, you can see how busy I am. What's that?
All right, then half an hour, but this is very important. Drive on, driver.
Be careful with that. Elizabeth!
How long?
About 2 hours.
She only beat us by 2 hours, sir.
Bad news travels fast. Right then. Tell them to call at the office tomorrow morning. I've troubles enough to worry about now.
Because of you, James, I have put myself in debt to the tune of £100,000.
Well, then that's your affair, not to do with me.
It has everything to do with you.
Oh, I see. That's the way the wind blows. Anything else you'd like to blame on me? God, no wonder Matt Harvey walked out on you.
Now, look. I only borrowed that money because I knew when you came back I could sell my South American shares and pay the man off.
Well, then all the more fool you for gambling on something that you had no control over.
My decision was based on your last letter.
Oh, damn it, woman. That was written months ago.
Yes, well, in it you definitely stated that when
Elizabeth,
you
it's
came...
pointless prolonging this discussion any further. What is done is done.
Exactly.
And as for you, James, I've warned you often enough in the past about overreaching yourself. Well, now it's happened.
Oh, I can't do without one of your sermons.
Don't you understand this concerns you as well?
Of course, I understand.
James has pledged all the assets of the Onedin line on his South American venture.
I'm well aware of that.
Well, can't you see that now that it's
It
failed...
affects my Onedin line shares. Yes, of course I do. But I've had scant return on them in the past. But now, thank heaven, I shall be able to survive in the future. On my own.
Yeah, Robert. You been up to something?
Yes, he's taken all this far too calmly.
You can both think what you like.
That extra money for your store. I'd always assumed it had to come from the bank.
What money? Here. You have been up to something.
Well, although it's no business of yours, if you must know, I came to an arrangement with Mr. Macaulay.
Huh? What sort of an arrangement?
Mr. Macaulay is only interested in shipping.
Aye. Well?
It's a very good one. £10,000 at 4.5%.
Aye, and in exchange for what?
Well, he has first call on the business, naturally.
Oh, naturally, and what else?
I've given him the right to manage my Onedin shares.
What?
Yes. Look, I haven't sold the shares.
Aye, but he still has control over them. Robert, you're a fool.
Fool, am I?
Aye.
Why, you're a fine one to talk, with your high and mighty ideas. Building ports in South America, throwing away hundreds and thousands of pounds. And where's it got you, eh, might I ask?
Exactly.
And as for you, Elizabeth, it's high time you learned that it takes more than a pretty face to run a business. Good heavens, it strikes me that I'm the only member of this family with both feet firmly on the ground.
I didn't hear you coming in.
I've still got the key.
Ah. You're looking very well, Miss Carter.
Thank you. I came round to attend to all this. I didn't expect you quite so soon.
I made a fast passage.
Oh, you've lost some weight.
I'll have to go to the tailor, eh? Well, then, how's my daughter, eh?
Oh, Charlotte's quite a young lady. You'll hardly recognize her. She's of an age now when she should go away to school to be, well, you know, finished. Turned into a lady, something I couldn't do in a million years. I took the liberty of writing to a young ladies' academy. It's been very highly recommended.
Academy? Oh, now, where's that, then, eh?
Hampstead. It's just outside London.
Right.
The fees are some £140 per annum. Now, I know that does sound expensive, but if you were to dispense with my services and close up our little house...
What, have you leave the house? No, I wouldn't want that.
Oh?
Well, what I mean is, I can't afford it.
I see. Well, thank goodness I didn't tell Charlotte.
No, Onedin, this is just not good enough.
Oh, damn it, man. I've worked half the voyage on that. You've barely glanced at it.
There's no point. You talk about paying off the debt out of possible trading profits, but there's nothing guaranteed.
You have my word. It's been good enough for you in the past.
At the moment, Onedin, your word is worth very little here in Liverpool. You've let down not only the bank, but hundreds of private investors.
Oh, they took a gamble, same as I did.
They invested on the strength of your promises. But fortunately for the bank, our loan is secured.
You're not thinking of selling me up, are you?
Indeed I am. I have no option.
Afternoon. I was hoping I might see you, sir. I've just had some harsh words with your sister. She blames me for handing over my command. She said I should have put the ship first and you second.
She's quite right.
I know, but I don't like being told by a woman. And I said so. The upshot is, I'm on the beach.
Well, you're in good company.
How do you mean?
I mean, I've just lost everything. Every ship I own, taken by the bank.
What?
Well, at least that's their intention. I've got 6 ships out there in the port. Not one of them got a notice nailed on the mast.
Ah, well, then you could say that at the moment, legally, they're still yours.
Ah.
Hey, that's sailing close to the Windsor. Wouldn't be the first time you and me's done that.
These can't be all the Onedin Line assets.
And all of his ships.
Why are you offering them to me?
Well, shall we say, as recompense? After all, you did lend money to Robert Onedin on the strength of his shares in these ships.
Not much escapes you, does it, Harris? But that store of his will show a profit. I'll see to that. Oh, but as to these, the price is too high.
I can assure you that those valuations
are far too high. Look, reduce the figures by 15%, and I'll take the lot.
I'll have the papers drawn up for signature.
Oh, thank you.
Can you at least not spare the time to say goodbye to Charlotte?
Look, if it were possible, I would. You must give her my love. Tell her I'll see her when I return.
And when will that be?
Oh, 3 months. No more.
It's a long time to wait.
Aye.
For Charlotte, I meant.
Miss Gaunt, when I come back, I hope we shall have time to talk, discuss the future.
James, what is all this about?
Ah, got the money then?
Yes.
Good girl, I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Yes, well, before I hand it over, I think I'm owed an explanation.
Ah, right. Very well. Explanation's quite simple. By this time tomorrow, Harris will have confiscated my entire fleet.
James, I've no idea.
Well, I'll still have 6 ships in port. I'm going to sail them out of his clutches. We sail first light.
Well, where will you go?
Oh, I don't know, Cardiff. Coal for Italy, then on to the Black Sea, maybe for some grain.
Well, I knew things had gone badly
I
for
wish
you.
you'd told me, James. Is there anything I can do to help?
No, just look after yourself and Charlotte. Oh, housekeeping, eh?
I'll take care of that. You'll need every penny for victualling.
Thank you, sister. Well, I've not much time. I've crews to find for 6 ships.
You have taken Baines back?
Yes.
I knew you would.
Right. I'd best be off then.
James, when Mr. Harris finds those ships are gone, he could telegraph the other ports.
Yes, they could be waiting for you.
Aye. Unless, of course, someone were to tell him that, well, I'd sailed for other parts.
Let go forward.
Line ships has gone.
I'll ask you to moderate your language.
Sunk away in the night.
And furthermore, I'll ask you not to meddle in the business of this company.
And I'll remind you, madam, that this company is keeping its head above water with the aid of my money.
I am informed by my clerk that you made a commitment to purchase those Onedin ships.
I did. The entire fleet. And at a good price.
The price is immaterial. The fact is they are sailing ships and Fraser's is a steamship line.
So?
So you will apologize to Mr. Harris. And you will tell him that the offer was made without my knowledge or consent.
Now you listen to me, madam.
Excuse me, Mrs.
Yes?
Fraser. There's a Miss Gaunt to see you.
Then show her in.
Now, just a minute, Mrs.
Good
Fraser.
day, Mr. Macaulay.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Mrs. Fraser, this letter arrived for Captain Onedin, and I feel it's rather urgent.
I'm afraid my brother has sailed, Miss Gaunt.
Oh, yes, I know, for Belfast. But I thought if you had a steamer sailing today, it might be delivered.
He's going to go straight round to Mr. Harris. I wonder if they'll both take the midday packet to Belfast.
Well, if they do, I hope it's a rough crossing.
We're out of the river now, sir. Stand by to go about.
Head due west, if you please.
West, sir?
Aye. Until we're out of sight of land. Then you can turn south.
I get your drift, sir. Belay that order.